Welcome and thank you for joining me on this video. I will take you through a quick presentation on how Tungsten Total Agility can be integrated with eMudra emSigner application. Before I get started with emSigner, I want to highlight that Tungsten has its own digital signing solution, SignDoc. Tungsten SignDoc offers native integration into Total Agility, and so it is much more easier to integrate into document-based workflows and SignDoc. SignDoc also offers an extensive API, and it offers the customer the ability to run this digital signing solution as an on-prem or as private cloud in their own organizations, allowing them full data sovereignty and control. Also, SignDoc has custom plugins available for integration into Singapore's SingPass and Hong Kong's IAM Smart solutions, which are respective national ID based signatures. eMudra is an Indian government licensed certifying authority since 2008, trusted by millions of SMB and enterprise globally. eMudra is a licensed e-sign service provider by Controller of Certifying Authorities, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, a Digital India initiative. emSigner is a product of eMudra, which is a digital signature solution. It is a single provider offering both e-signatures workflow and e-sign solution. It offers e-sign solutions with Aadhaar, eKYC, offline Aadhaar, PAN, organizational e-sign, bank KYC, and foreign individual support. Like my disclaimer, I am not representing eMudra or emSigner here. All of this information has been extracted from their website. For Tungsten benefit, eSigner has a powerful API for seamless digital signing and workflow automation through the Total Agility's workflow capabilities. We will utilize this API for all the integration. In today's video, I will cover two use cases, one in HR and another in finance. These are just sample use cases focusing on the integration capability of Total Agility and emSigner and not going into the details of the workflow of Total Agility. These are just sample workflows. In real world, these workflows will be adjusted as per customer's unique requirement. In the first use case, an HR use case, a HR operator will be able to easily fill a Total Agility form, attach an offer letter to be sent to a candidate, which will automatically become a workflow in Total Agility. It will be created as an emSigner envelope that will be first reviewed or signed by the HR manager, and once approved, it will be automatically sent to the candidate for digital signature. Once the candidate signs the offer letter via the emSigner portal, a listener application will automatically download the signed document and will trigger off further onboarding processes for various departments like IT provisioning, etc. Let's see this in action. And like I said before, just presenting a simple straightforward use case because the focus of this video is to show the Total Agility and emSigner integration rather than the detailed capabilities of Total Agility. This is the offer come appointment letter which is ready to be sent to the candidate for signature. You can see the preset location for the HR manager to first review and sign, and then the candidate to finally sign. The rest of the document is a standard offer letter. The HR assistant will open a Total Agility form and will fill out the details of the HR manager who needs to review and the candidate with their respective names and email addresses and proceed to attach the offer letter to the workflow. When this is submitted, it kicks off a Total Agility workflow to call the emSigner API and create a sequential envelope based workflow in the emSigner system. The HR assistant gets an email with the emSigner workflow ID when the job has been successfully submitted. Now let's check the emails for the HR manager They get an email to review plus sign the document, which they can follow the link in the email to open the document in emSigner. The manager can review the document, look through the document, and if happy with the details, they will proceed to sign the document. emSigner gives various options for the user to choose their signing or draw their signature. Before I submit this, let me show you the email of the candidate. Currently, we can see that this is empty, but when the HR manager will submit and finish his signing process, it will automatically trigger an email for the candidate. So now when we go back to the candidate's email box, we can see that they have this new email, document pending for signature. The candidate can proceed to do the same process. Click on the link within the email, which opens the document in the emSigner portal. They can see that it is addressed to them. They are the user on this emSigner portal. They can see the previous signature from the HR manager, and they can then proceed to sign their own signatures onto the document. Once the candidate signs and finishes the document, Total Agility will be triggered to run further onboarding processes like IT administration and other portal account creation, which is not covered in this demonstration, but that is a standard Total Agility functionality. We can also see the final document, which also can be retrieved by Total Agility and stored into the customer's document management system. But here on the emSigner portal, also the document, the final document is visible with all the signatures in the document. In the second use case, let's have a look at a workflow where an enterprise wants to digitally sign and certify all invoices before they are emailed or posted to the purchaser. In this case, the invoicing system will output and place all invoices into a folder, which will be monitored by Total Agility. It will pick up all these invoices using the emSigner API. It will automatically create envelopes for each invoice and trigger an automatic certification in emSigner. This is emSigner's feature where choosing a particular workflow of emSigner, all documents can automatically be signed soon after they have been uploaded, either using a person or an organization's certificate. Please refer to emSigner documentation for details on this feature. Once emSigner will process these invoices, Total Agility will be able to download them and push through another workflow to automatically email them to respective buyers. And so the end user buyer will get an invoice which is digitally signed by the enterprise, giving them the trust that the invoice is legitimate from the organization. Let's have a look at this in action. For this demo, I will use these 7 PDF files and use a Windows Watch folder to process them. These PDF files are dummy invoicing data which have a customer's email address apart from the other invoicing metadata. Total Agility will use this email address to later route the invoice to the buyer, and these invoices also have a special place mark for placing the organization's digital signature. When I copy these invoices into a watched folder, Total Agility picks them up and creates a job for each invoice, which is then uploaded into a specified workflow in the emSigner portal. Here are the jobs in Total Agility, and soon they will be pushed into jobs in emSigner. This emSigner workflow is configured to automatically sign any incoming document using the organizational certificate or a person certificate. We can now see these envelopes have been created in the emSigner portal for each invoices that was processed. This automatic signing runs as a scheduled task on the portal, and in a short while we will see emSigner issuing notification when a document has been signed. This notification will be picked up by a listener application, which will then create another set of jobs in Total Agility to process these now signed digital invoices. Total Agility then extracts all relevant metadata from the signed invoices coming back from emSigner, including the buyer's email address, and post these invoices to the buyer's assigned email address. We can see each of these invoices being processed and emailed to the respective buyers. We can also see the PDF file received by the buyer is a digitally signed file using either the organization certificate or, as in this demo, the CFO's own certificate. Also, here is the backend of Total Agility where we can see the configured workflows which orchestrate these business functions for the organization. Total Agility automates the full end-to-end process in between using emSigner as the signing platform. In summary, we saw in these presentations and demo how Tungsten, Total Agility, and emSigner can be integrated to provide digital signature capabilities in your document workflows. This not only provides additional trust to the documents, it also provides faster time to action. It invariably strengthens and provides security and compliance to your business processes and workflows. Thank you for joining me on this video.